Oh, Dev does it on purpose.
What?
Get so juked out.
What's that smell?
I think whatever. Throw them.
No.
That's just your take again. My challenge is to come up with my own invention, product, or product idea. Design a draft prototype using Tinkercad and evaluate my prototype and see if I can find ways to improve based on what I discovered through analyzing the dataset. I will be using Tinkercad to create a golf swing trap, which allows me to control a golf swing. I'll probably be having to print this over multiple days, and it will take different days to print out different parts. I'll be able to complete my goal because we have the printers and a filament that allows me to print it. Yeah. I'm creating this because it will help me with my golf swing, and I need to get better at golf to help me golf. For golf. Reach, I will. By day one, I will download the vibes. I will convert them. I will start printing them out, resizing them, put them in, and make everything work. And then, yeah. Technology is a 3040 printer. I was able to use this to print out all my golf accessories throughout these couple weeks. And the printer's smaller than 3045, but it still works. This is used daily by golfers around the world. Helps you fix your golf swing, it helps you hit straight. And that's what it's supposed to look like. But this is what it looks like right now because I don't have the Velcro yet. But it will look like that. In doing this, I learned how to print out the objects in the Tinkercad, and I learned how to change the infill and properties in the Dremel Slicer application. And if you click into something's properties, it brings up a whole more options that allows you to print. Why did that? What did you do? Anything. That was supposed to be up there, not supposed to be there. One problem I had was the sticks not printing correct. With the sports, it tore apart off the stick, which made it not very stable, and it was on 20% info. It was our test one, and it was bigger than the other ones, but that's what ended up happening. And yeah. And then I was able to solve my stick problem by changing the size, the sticks to be smaller, the size decreased, it was deeper. Cheaper, and took less time. Another thing I changed was going from the 3D45 to the 3D20, which surprisingly made the printing process quicker. And another problem, the size of this. The base was supposed to be way bigger, and so I had to size that down. I put it like corner to corner, and I made that longer, but yeah. And it turned out pretty good. After the trial stick broke, I made the stick smaller and put them in about 50% infill. And I then put all four on them. And 3 of them ended up working, and then the other one went to poop. This today, I was gone. But I got 6th place in a varsity meet. And yeah. And then, yeah. Well, whatever. I have completed my smart. I just need to find the little Velcro circles for my sticks to put on the base, and everything should work. Probably won't be doing this launcher again for the remainder of the year. Got to find something new. Things I liked about the launcher is that it was easy. I was able to make what I wanted, and I really had no limitations on what to make. You can go on websites too and find stuff you can make, and yeah, it helps you out. Some successes I had was able to print out the base and on the first try and get all my sticks to finally print out without anything breaking. And yeah. Something I learned was in the Dremel Slicer app, you were able to change more properties in it. Like I said, by going into the properties tab, it brings up a whole list. I could probably get to that here. Yeah. Have fun. I think it's
20 seconds.
Shut up, man. And 3. Yes.
2. What? I said it first before
No.
you held it up. Fine. 1.
I called one.
Ah, fine. 4. Yeah.
Three printing. I used to get 3, 4, 5. All that whole. Sparkle. I'll make a few 3D printed items, laser ThinkPad, and the Dremel 3D printers. These days I'll be able to make a few objects that are useful to me, but either be fun, being actually useful. I'll be able to complete my goal of these 5 days is to have chat to make my ideas, friends, to give me ideas and the knowledge from what you should know that to successfully master this goal. I'm creating this because I want to continue my printing from last week. It's fun, and I get something I can use in real life. I'll reach my goal by having 2 more 3D printed items on the last due day. Should be designing 1 per day, printing the next day, and then meet my smart goal. About my technology, I use ThinkPad as a general 3D money. ThinkPad is a site where users able to create 3D models, circuits, and more. 3D models can be exported to the Dremel 3D slicer and then printed on the 3D printer. There are different models you can choose from, as well as being able to add or delete space using the hold and shape feature. I was able to make intricate designs by using the combined features, and sometimes having to use it to separate. Looking on to the real world, trying to make a ball gatherer, didn't work. That's a real ball gatherer, probably does work. What did I learn? I learned about the printers themselves and about trying to make something that requires a lot of design work. I learned alternatives to 3D prints after I failed to complete the 3D print build. I also learned how difficult turning things from ideas into reality. What problems did I have? I have many problems during this, and I only got one result. There's a few things that I tried to do, and it didn't work as well.
I'm holding up 1, bro. You're doing it.
Good 3.
Here now.
And it's 1.
Let's go. Wait. Let's know.
Oh.
Yesterday at the track meet, I think I pulled my butt cheek. Like, you're. Oh, well, that's fine. You know you're blue.
Oh, but he's literally on video.
Laser engraver.
You're off today.
My challenge is to use the laser engraver to get a better final product every time I cut something. I'll use a Muse laser engraver to create a buildable laser cutout. Wait. Never mind, I don't. Okay. I will be able to make one of these cutouts from Thingiverse with the laser engraver. I'll be able to complete my goal because I have all the needed resources like the laser and the software that goes with it. I also have prior knowledge from using this before. I will also have the instructions to put the object together. I'm creating this because I want to experiment with the engraver and hopefully get a buildable final product. I will reach my goal by researching, cutting, wait. I will reach my goal by researching, that sounds weird. Researching, cutting. No, just researching the cutting. Anywho, on day 1, trying the cutting on day 2 and 3, and then finally putting it all together on day 4 and 5. About my technology. If you didn't know, in the 1970s, to improve a then popular computerized engraving machine, Bill Lawson of the LMI, don't know what that is, probably should have looked that up, began to experiment with the viability and possibilities for laser engraving. This was the first ever idea of a laser engraver, not the first engraver, but Bill Lawson, a very intelligent man. This is our laser on the right, used for recreation and learning, and that one on the left is being used for fitness. I learned a lot about cutting. I learned more about how the different colors of lines work. These work in a way that the laser can have two different powers and speeds on separate lines. I also learned how to use a converting application to turn this from 3.9 millimeter thick to 3 millimeter thick. Yes. What problems that I had? Major problem that I had was the assembly of the first one. I poorly put the supports on the handle, and then the aftermath of that was the project snapping in half. And I didn't take a picture of that for some reason. This day, I was surfing the web for a laser cut. That would be fun. I saw this crossbow that shot pill-shaped projectiles. This was cutting right now on day one, and I hope it works because it would be cool. Other than that, you could put an SVG file into the converter and make it so the pieces all fit together. If you have a build for 4 millimeter thick wood, you can convert it to fit 3 millimeter. It's magic. I don't know how it works. On this day, finished building / putting together a projectile launcher. I did not have time to test it since it took a while to build, and I had to go scavenge around for rubber bands. I found the G code for the printable projectiles, and I saved them for later on this day. I had success with the building of the launcher. It was fairly easy since there are not many parts. I also, the slight downsizing of the projectiles, because this was meant to be smaller, so they had to be like smaller to fit. On this day, I got the pink. Those don't look like pink, but they're pink. I got them for printing. When I put them into the launcher, they worked very well. There has not been a finished picture of my launcher because, well, I don't know. The projectiles fit perfectly into the launcher. They launched fairly far. They reached all the way across the room. There's another rubber band on the trigger to make it stronger so it doesn't hold the trigger down. On this day, I put together the second build because the first one snapped in half. I hot glued all the pieces together this time. This is better than last time because it was very thin last time. I didn't put very much glue. I had success with speed and putting this together since I've done it before. I also had a success with the trigger. This time I left 2 parts off of it last time. Right here, these 2 parts, which caused it to break right here because there's nothing for the thing to bend down on. It was bend all the way. Special. I made some improvements with sanding paper. The circle part is a part that I sanded down so the trigger would go up more, therefore hold more force. I also sanded a part by the trigger so it no longer gets stuck. It's like right under here. It would get like stuck in there. I was also able to make sure that all these intended functions worked. Another small but crucial thing that worked was the supports at the top of the handle worked this time. No snapping. Conclusion. I believe I met my smart goal because I got a successful product. I even got 2 of them. No one broke. I would definitely do this again, but I would change this by doing a different cutout, buildable one. I had a great success with the cut working and being able to put it together. Wait, this cut working? Yeah. I learned how to use an application to resize certain laser cuts, and this launcher was very fun because I pretty much just made it up and could follow any rules I wanted.
That is very loud.
Tiny bit of the code.
Exactly after the
To the fluff.
steering wheel. Yeah, I use a stencil and game development. Me, I use the stencil software, level 1 stencil introduction to game design. I'll be using the stencil to create a game of my own design, using the tools they provide. I will be, the game will take at least half of the screen to build. The game is what?
Yes.
You got voice up.
The game will at least take half the screen for because it'll be a mobile setup, so it's going to be more for it'll be for a phone view. Then it's relevant because I actually I did game development last year for a coding one, which was very fun, so I thought this might be similar, but it's a different type of script they use. The one I did last year had used JavaScript. The one we're using this year has a whole bunch of different scripts except for JavaScript. It's a great game of your own design, of your creation. You can create the characters, you can choose what you code, you can choose how you code like JavaScript. It's not one of them, but because this one's an older version of it, does not have the JavaScript on. I'm pretty sure the newer one does. But this one has a type of code which uses events instead of your regular code. Really you're watching your real world. This is the game I developed. This is the game someone else may actually be for me. Is to make a game. Why is that like that? I learned that it's very different from the code is very different from what I'm used to. This is the screen. This is the middle of development of different types of things that I also learned that you can't freeze anything. Everything would start to fall if I would have started this because this thing you can't create. I learned after I found when you were way back when you first created it, you create the background. But when I did a tutorial for this thing, it did not show that. So I tried to make the background using actual sprites or actors, which is actually the physical objects in the game. Well, problem is that that's the code I was used to. It took a while for me to get used to it, and some of the code would not delete when I did not need it. Basically, you would have to take one of these, place it. You take one of these, place it here, and combine each of these with the code. And some of these don't like you delete it. You take it, drag it to the trash can. Some of them would not like it. I just use the image of wool. Who cares? I just look for an image of wool. So these are the tools you can use. This is the settings for some of this. It's mobile, PC, console, types of games you made, web browser games. This is
this is the property screen, and behind this is the fence, which is the podium for it. This is where you actually first create your screen. When you create the game, you click here, which is like your first screen. You use different screens for different events in your game. Like if you're doing like building in your game, you can switch to the screen to make a building. You have multiple screens and things like that. Each screen you can do different things, have different actors, different things different for each screen. This is basically just what I know. This is an information thing from the Smart Lab. Smart Lab say about games, how you do it. This is the thing, but I couldn't be able to get an image, but this is how you, this should be able to get used for the game. Unless it's like to be stupid,
Supposed to be a link?
yeah, kind of a thing, but unless it's being stupid, I'll show it later on. I'll show how my computer is being stupid. Let's work on it. I would do this again. It was very fun. It was very challenging and some of the other things I did not get because of the different challenges. I did complete my SMART goal, which was to complete can you move it to the next screen?
What?
The vocabulary screen. Vocabulary. Actors is the character you use, also the everything you use and what they interact with, such as clouds, characters, enemies, and anything else you want to. Events is the coding of the area of it. Screen is the background and everything that's in said area of the game. Collision is the code that makes every character, everything collide. For some of this, it automatically has a collision, like if it's, you can't just design it, but some of it is use collision to, and you say if you want, if you're like in a battle game, and the collision, if T-Rex hits the, whatever, like trees, grows, whatever, it dies. That's how the collision works. And hit by is the code that allows the character to take damage if you want to put the damage into the game. Yep, that's done.
You just like open every tab on the computer.
Real quick.
Modeling my house. I used cardboard. I was supposed to use ArtKit. Oh, I gotta go on this next. Which is like a building thing, but it's like really limited and not great. So here's my cardboard. I will use cardboard to create a model that represents my real life house by gluing pieces together. I will add aspects to my house on each day, building off of previous. I will be able to complete this goal because I have blueprints and I have the cardboard. I'm doing this because I think that models of houses are cool, and I used to want to be an architect until I figured out that there's a lot of math involved. I will use all 5 days to add things to my house, making it more and more complete. Architects design all sorts of structures, from houses to malls to community centers. I will be making a model of my house using this launcher. Instead of ArtKit, I'm using Cardboard, substituting ArtKit's benefit. Models are used to plan out projects before actual construction begins. So there's a model of a mall, there's a model of my house. Models are used for lots of things. Architectural models are used for large projects. I started this project with cardboard, but cardboard is very difficult to work with. So I decided that I'd rather use foam board. It's also very difficult to work with. I think I'm just bad at this, so I'm gonna 3D print it to construct my model. I ended up deciding this is too hard, and I would rather just make this on Tinkercad. Yeah. On day one, I made the first walls, and I made sure that the walls looked roughly the right height compared to the size of the room. I learned how to work with cardboard. I used a piece of wood as my cutting board so I didn't dig a knife into these desks. And I just eyeballed it and kind of made sure it looked sort of right. This is going to be very time consuming, is what I figured out on day 2. I won't have time to like finish it, like make furniture and carpet and whatnot. I added a lot more walls, finished boxing in 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. These 2 of the bathrooms. Right there. Day 3, I burnt myself. Hot glue is very hot, it hurts. I added the structure of the sunroom, which is this portion here. I didn't add the windows yet. I cleaned up a lot of cuts and decided I'll be using some kind of tape to smooth out the walls. Now, I'm just gonna 3D print it. Challenge today is to try to get the split level stuff to line up right. The house is very not on one plane. There's a lot of additions. The sunroom and the living room are both additions. On day 4, this would have been much easier with foam board. False. I might try to rebuild the modeling using foam board. False. I completed the upstairs model. I did not add walls to the garage, and I left the slot open near the front because I decided that this isn't turning out good enough, and I'd much rather just 3D print it. I left the slot open by the front door also. It's very challenging to cut the cardboard straight, even with the speed square. I think maybe like a giant straight edge would be easier, not straight edge, but all the things. Big metal L. Yeah. It's very challenging to try and cut through, 7 inches. Anyway, I decided that I would like to remake the entire thing out of foam board. False. I used a square. That was a good idea, but I'm just not good at it, I don't think. The square will help everything line up better, and I want to make everything 90 degrees. So the cardboard house is just a prototype. I successfully made a model out of the main level of my house, so I met my SMART goal. I managed my time well working on the house each day and actually keeping up with my journal. I will be doing this again next time, but starting with the basement using foam board. False. I will be 3D printing it, which will make much easier to cut and much easier to make square. I wonder how much better I can make my next model. I want to make a complete model of my house, all the levels. But I doubt I'll be able to complete that in the next launcher. I might if I 3D print it. I will be able to keep this model and work on it again next year if I take this class again. Vocabulary.
Way to go.
Now you got me piqued my interest of doing that. Like the architect